So I have Lisa here with Vibrant Life Landscapes, and she is based out of Clearwater, Florida, and she's been working on a food forest here in Florida for some years now. So Lisa, tell us about the property and how long you've been here and what you've got going on.
So I've been here for 3 years now, and this property is under 1/8 of an acre in a urban area of Clearwater, and we've thoroughly enjoyed living here. When we first moved here, there were some invasive species in the backyard, and since then we removed those and replaced them with fruiting and edible and permaculture plants.
Love it, I love it. So let's take a look at your property and see what you guys got going on.
One of the things I really love to do is plant the veggies within the food forest. And so this has been an island of a food forest right here. And I love putting in things like peppers, which really have a long lifetime, along with tomatoes and other veggies, even pigeon peas. So this over here is what I like to call Banana Lane. We started with a site plan, and this was an easy way for me to organize where I was going to put all the different varieties of bananas. And as you can see behind me, we've got several different sizes, and we've got some bananas that even put out 2 racks at one time. And this makes it really easy to chop and drop and put out mulch that's necessary for the bananas development. And then just down over there I have my compost, so it's really easy to transfer. One of the best things about planting your own food forest and permaculture yard is that you can help your neighbors do it too. And in this case, a neighbor moved in and they were interested in the same things that we were interested in. And here you can see that there's passion fruit growing, and I get to pick, she gets to pick, and then I share my mangoes with her. So it's a great resource having somebody right next door.
So no matter what our planning is, there's always things that we would change that we've learned through experience. So what is one thing that you would change or redo if you could do things over again?
One of those things would definitely be the compost and the quantity of it. So right over here we have the compost area, and this has been excellent, not only for reducing waste that our family puts out, but also for nourishing the garden. And one of the things I really wish we'd done in the beginning was started with 2 of these, if not 3, because even for this under 1/8 of an acre property, we use this quite a bit, and it does take time to go down and become a food source for the plants. So definitely starting with more would have helped. So my other pro tip is mulch. I really wish I would have started with way more mulch in the beginning, because it really has increased the nutrition of the soil exponentially and protected it from the sun and other elements. So you definitely want a lot of mulch, and you can go 6-8 inches easy, even more sometimes, and that will also help you with irrigation. That's going to keep the water in when you need to keep the plants moist. So lots of mulch even in the beginning.
So if you wanted to share one thing that you've learned, or like what's your tip, your pro tip now that you've gotten to experiencing this?
One of those pro tips would be to plant in many places, and as you can see here, there's a Valencia Pride mango doing really, really well, fruiting a lot, and whereas we tried mangoes in the backyard and they didn't do quite as well as this one right here.
So multiplying and planting in multiple locations until you find out what does best, and then switching out the ones that didn't thrive.
Exactly. So right over here, this is a great example of how if you really want to enjoy something and have it grow very well, you might want to plant a few of them and put them in different places. So right over here we have a jackfruit tree, and you can see that it's grown a lot. The trunk is very large, and that was grown from seed over just 3 years. And we're just several feet away, I have another jackfruit tree, and yet it's 1/4 of the size. So it really pays to plant a lot and plant in different places. So on one side of me right here, you see the bees, but I'm actually going to talk a little bit about variety. Right behind me on this side, I have the world's best mulberry, and that's really neat that I have that mulberry, a green mulberry, and Thai dwarf mulberries, because I get to see what's growing really well here, plus how the fruit is. So it's really great to try different varieties within the same fruit.
What is one thing that you felt like you really succeeded on or really nailed it when you were developing your food forest?
Definitely the site plan. I created a site plan from the very beginning. I made a list of the important trees that I wanted to have on the property, and then I went ahead and I made sure that I plotted on the site plan where exactly I wanted those major fruit trees, so I could go ahead, get started with those, and understand the flow that I wanted to have around the garden in terms of where I would be able to walk, how myself, my family would get around the yard. And through that site plan, I was able to strategically begin planting out the food forest.
So the site plan allowed you to make sure that you got the plants in that you really, really wanted. It allowed you to create a more cohesive flow for the property, and it allowed you the opportunity to visualize how you and your family would live within the space.
Absolutely, it worked out really well, and I do that for clients right now.
That's awesome. So tell everybody a little bit more about your business and how you could potentially help them if you're in their area.
I started a business called Vibrant Life Landscapes, and I do on-site consultations, I do site plans, and I also do plant shopping and development lists for what the clients are interested in. I also talk to them about their other goals, if they have needs on their property, and that's the beauty of going to somebody's property and personalizing with the on-site consult.
So if you guys are interested in working with Lisa through her business, I will have a link down below and how you can get a hold of her.